Chris, always great speaking with you. I got to say, Friday nights at the ROM has been an incredible program that's been going on for the last couple of years. Man, you guys know how to make a party happen for the spring and summer. For folks who don't know anything about this, because people are probably simply going, wait a minute, party, dance, music, ROM, how does this all go together? So you got to explain it, my friend.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Rudy. And indeed, it has been going on for a few years, Friday Night Live here at the Royal Ontario Museum. And we are about to start and launch our spring-summer season 2018. So for 9 weeks in a row, starting this Friday, May the 4th, running until Friday, June the 29th, the museum really reinvents itself as a destination for people to come not only enjoy all of our feature exhibitions and permanent galleries, but as you said, the opportunity to enjoy entertainment, live music, bands, DJs throughout the building really provides a great experience for people to come and reimagine the ROM in a way that suits what they want to do on a Friday night.
See, and this is the thing I want to point out to people. Yes, people can go to clubs, which is great. They can go to lounges, which is great. But when you are in a music, a party atmosphere at the ROM, it is something completely different because the ROM itself becomes a character itself, correct?
It does. And it's really interesting that you say that because, there are still people who haven't yet experienced it. And I find those people occasionally and I try to describe to them what the experience will be like. And I always say, you never really know what it's like until you come and see it. And it's so true because then right after somebody has experienced it and I speak to them, they're like, wow, you couldn't even describe what that was like, Chris. And then they start to tell me and then I choose, their words when they, feed back to me on what they experienced so that I can explain it to other people. And it's really been a journey for the museum and all of the attendees to Friday Night Live and all of our great program partners that we get to work with, on a seasonal basis here.
How many people can end up in, a night there Friday night? How many people does it usually bring in?
So the average number is just around 3,000 people per night. On popular nights, that number has gone up to as high as our capacity, which is 3,400. So that does give you a sense of scale when you're considering attending as to how many people will be here with you.
Now, before we start talking about the themes, something I want to point out that's very, very important. People might, they're going to hear this interview and they're going to go, oh, that's great. Okay, well, maybe I'll just pop by on a Friday. Yeah, you might be able to do it, but there are a lot of times things are sold out weeks before the event is actually going to be happening.
Yes, that really does happen sort of once we reach week 2 or 3 in the season and the momentum is, back up there and we're moving full force. The chances are that our online capacity will sell out. Yes, indeed, we save a few tickets, for at-the-door purchases, but that doesn't guarantee you access. And so the way that you guarantee attending is by purchasing in line. And one important thing just about that, talking about the entry experience and purchasing online and getting ready, we do have some construction on the Bloor Street facade, and so we'll only be able to manage the ticket holders through those doors this year. If you are arriving and you haven't purchased a ticket, you'll arrive to the Queen's Park Weston doors, and so we reopened those doors in December, and so we'll be using those for the people who need to purchase tickets. And when those tickets are gone, they're gone, and then those doors will be locked. So, yeah, that's a good thing to point out. The sellout factor is something to consider with Friday Night Live.
Well, let's consider the fact that you have different programs for different Fridays and so many different themes. And, we can't mention all of them, but let's talk about some of them because it goes from Bollywood to superheroes. Talk about some of it.
Right. And so May is South Asian Heritage Month here in the province of Ontario, and we've recently had some pieces arrive into our South Asian collection of Bollywood poster art, and that really was something that we used as a jumping off point with our partners, Vista Art Society, and so it's going to be a complete Bollywood takeover of the ROM for our launch, and we're super excited about that. The interest in this program, is as big as it ever has been, and this launch night is going to be something to behold. Bollywood dancing, South Asian drumming, Bhangra, As I mentioned, some of our collections will be on display in a video format too, and so that's really, really, a great opportunity for us to share this with our audience. A couple of the other, big ones that I'll mention, yes, you do talk about superheroes, and there's superheroes everywhere, and superheroes is quite topical in popular media right now. We are going to encourage people to think about coming in their favorite cosplay inspired by superheroes too, and there will be some prizing for best cosplay. We're working with a group called Atomic Lollipop who will be bringing in cosplay guests for this night as well. And then, as I was saying, the other three big partnerships that I'd like to mention are happening a little bit later in the season. But for our Indigenous Now Night, we're working with the Association of Native Development and Performance Arts, or ANDPVA as they're known. And so that's focused on Indigenous arts, Indigenous music, Indigenous culture throughout the building. Then we're also big again this year during Pride Month, happening on Friday, June 15th, is a Pride Toronto partnership. We're calling that night Color ROM Proud. And so that is another building-wide partnership with LGBT artists throughout, focusing really on local talent, and that's going to be a wonderful, wonderful. That night will definitely be sold out as well. And then new for this year, being a member of the Bloor-Yorkville neighborhood, the ROM, the Toronto TD Jazz Festival happens now in this neighborhood, and this is the second year that they are here. And although we met with them last year, we felt it was better to wait until this year to form a partnership. And so Club Jazz Night will be happening here on Friday, June 22nd. And so we're working with, the TD Toronto Jazz Festival, another great festival in the city. And we're really trying to push the limits with musical programming there and, looking at not what people might stereotypically think of as jazz music, but how jazz music has influenced so many other genres of music. And so that'll be another exciting night here. And then I can't not mention our finale for June 29th. That title is Arachnophile. That is really the spotlight on our feature exhibition that'll be opening in June, Spiders, Fear, and Fascination. And so that'll be an opportunity for our Friday Night Live guests to have access into the Spiders exhibition included with your admission. And so that's another good point to make about this program, is that it is a reduced rate compared to our regular admission, but what you get for your $17, is quite a wonderful value, and in particular on the nights where we can open our feature exhibitions to our Friday Night Live crowd. We would just like to mention that that's a great opportunity.
Absolutely, it is. And, truth be told, and again, not knocking clubs and whatever, but that's almost like the same price or sometimes considered cheaper than going to certain clubs too. So I think this is great. I mean, you're getting so much, but look, you didn't even touch on everything that's happening. So the best way for people to know about this, to experience it, how do they get tickets, how do they get information, and how do they just get the regular roll around to know what's going to be happening every Friday?
Sure. So our ROM website has all the information with artist bios. We didn't really get a chance to touch on many of those, but at www.rom.on.ca/FNL, and so that's Friday Night Live. You can find it there. If you like ROM and follow ROM on Facebook, we've set up events for each of the Friday nights too. And so if you want to engage in a social way with all your friends, make sure you click that you're interested or that you're going to those Facebook events, and you can check out Facebook, the ROM's Facebook page for that. And then, as I mentioned, and we've already mentioned, there's links in both of those to get your tickets. ROM members always have the best value, and so with your membership, your ticket price is $5. The regular admission price is $17, and then seniors and students pricing is $15.50.
Looking forward to all this. Look, thank you so much for the interview, but more importantly, thank you for setting things up in Toronto to make sure that we are having a good time and being educated at the same time.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is we're all excited about it again. We can't wait to open the doors this Friday. So thank you very much, and thank you everybody for coming.